Hello, hello, hello. This is Mike Reed coming to you on, let's see here what day. This is the 22nd of February. And I just really wanted to come online and talk to everybody and see what your experience has been like in these training classes you've been going to. Um, Yeah, another late night flow. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for everybody for coming through. But I just really wanted to find out how you guys are experiencing things. So people have been coming to me and they've been telling me what they've been finding themselves getting into, and I'm starting to get some responses back from some of these companies you guys have been contacting, and it is very interesting to say the least. It is very, very interesting. So I want to tell you guys about what you're getting into without crushing your hopes and dreams. So I do not want to do that. Um, all right, Stevenson, what's going on? Have you had a chance to check out any of the training so far? Ah, you caught one. Okay. Um, Kango. So talk to me. What's going on? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat because I got a call from one of the companies that was a suggestion to me by one of the viewers, and this company, it was telling me about the Starbucks. So they were talking about Starbucks. They were talking about 7-Eleven. They were talking about Target. Um, and I can't think of what other ones. So when I really, really pressed this woman about the Starbucks machine, um, that's when it really started to come out. Um, Stevenson, which one was the Raleigh one? That was what, Manitowoc, or was that Scotsman? So I can see about so please give me as much information as possible so I can see about when the next one is coming up and all that kind of stuff. Now, you missed it because you were busy, or you missed it because the class was full and they wouldn't let you attend. Hit me up with some more information on that one. So, for those of you watching, tuning in, I'm currently in Fort Worth, and I'm attending a training class for a provider for Dairy Queen. Um, oh God, let's see here. So they're doing, not just doing, they've always done um, Culver's, Freddy's, Sonic, Sam's Club, some of the HEB stores, and Golden Corral. And that's just to name a few. Right. This is one of the brands that those companies rely on. Just going over some of the main points of it. Oh, Manitowoc. No, no, no. Don't worry about that. There'll be another one. Manitowoc. The Manitowoc trainer is jetting back and forth. And if you do miss the class entirely, it happens every single year because you have to go to the class in order to uh, have the ability to perform the warranty work. And the thing with the goal is not to perform the warranty work. You understand? The goal is to be a recognized service provider. The goal is to be uh, an informed technician. And so, what happens when you go to these training classes? They're telling you the ins and outs of the machines. They're telling you the common problems. They're telling you how to avoid the common problems, is more likely. They're telling you. Uh, the items that people believe is a problem, they're telling you what really happens when they get those parts back, because the factory wants the parts back. What a lot of people don't understand is they'll get a credit from that part supplier. All right. These machines are just like cars. So Ford is not making a transmission. Ford is not making the radio. Ford is not, well, I mean, I don't know what you would call it nowadays. It's not really a radio, but Ford is not making like the power motors for the seats. Another company is making those parts. And so when they have a part that comes back that's defective, they send the old parts back to that supplier, and then that supplier will in turn refund them or give them new parts, right, to replace those ones that were bad. So this is what happens here. So when they get those parts back, they have to test it. And when they get those parts back, and they're like, wait a minute, this part ain't bad. And then they notice that like a lot of people are returning the same part back thinking that it's defective. And when they get it back to the factory and they test it out, they find out, hey, this is not defective. So that is the main purpose of these courses, these classes, is that they inform everyone, hey, this is what you need to check for because you think it's a problem when it's really not. You need to do this, you need to do that. And so what that does is that helps you save money. That helps you make money. Yeah, going through late night classes. Well, not classes, but just a recap. I appreciate each and every one of you all for being here. It really does mean a lot. Every time I show somebody what I do that's in the industry, they can't even wrap their heads around it. They think it's kind of bizarre. so so that's just as a recap. So if you do not make the class, don't worry about it. Don't go driving 500, 800, 300 miles to go to another class. It's really not that big of a deal. You can always take a Scotsman class when it's in your area. You can take a Manitou, well, you can take a Hoshizaki class when it's in your area. You can do something like that. But I was talking with a guy who was getting close to, well, he was in his late 60s, and he started like a few years before I did. And I mean, we were chopping it up like we were, like we were good friends because everything we knew about the business was all at the same level. What's going on, Miami Appliance? So we were talking, and I was explaining to him. Oh God, I lost my track. I lost my train of thought. Sorry about that. But we were chopping it up today, and we were talking about the business, and he was talking about how his way in on the commercial side was through ICE. And I mean, he agreed with me on everything about ICE. Everybody needs ICE. Matter of fact, we had such a good time talking after class. We went broke bread, and he wanted to give me one of his friends, a client, a nice gas station chain, and I agreed to take on some of their ice machines, a large number of ice machines. So I understand, the mindset. I understand what's really behind it, which I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I am not against helping out the next man, especially if you're going to give me business that will help me, especially to add people, because that's what our big talk was about adding people and about how many zeros that would add behind that decimal point. I mean, behind that comma, you know. Um, no, 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 no. I'm not getting a side eye from highlighting these people. Um, because I'm brown, you know. They don't know how to handle this kind of thing. Because the whole brown people getting educated thing has kind of been settled in federal court. You did. So it's just I am something that people kind of did not anticipate because I've always been in the business. I've always been in the shadow. I, do my thing. My father does his thing. We kind of like stay under the radar because um, our clients, our money, we don't interact with the rest of the world, you know? And so I've kind of like, it's like hell with it because of my age, all the CEOs of these companies are my age. Everybody that's somebody is my age, and they share a similar background, they share a similar story. We're either going to be first or second generation in the appliance business, so we're the ones that are, taking over. Like, you guys might have, if you looked into Safesa, like the guys that have been running Safesa for the last almost 10 years, they're all like in their late 30s, early 40s, and they're all like second generation appliance guys. So it's not like they were these older guys that had got trained in the military. All right. So, that they look at me any kind of way they want to. There's nothing they can do about it. Nothing they can do about it. Yeah, the Circle K, right? Right? You notice these things now, right? People, that's what I'm trying to tell anybody who's checking out my channel. Um, Commercial is all around you. It is everywhere you go. Not just because I know all about Circle K's gas stations, not just that, but chances are the Circle K probably had a Hoshizaki ice machine. And I don't know why they're these black nugget ice machines. So if you saw a shiny black case up above the dispenser for the soda, 9 times out of 10, that was a Hoshizaki. And so they'll have Hoshizaki, all those equipment, all of that equipment that was in that Circle K are things that you can actually work on. I know I said I wanted to talk about the soft serve, not just the soft serve, but the Dairy Queen machine that we had training. I actually got my my tail handed to me working on the machines today in class, which is the whole point of class. I really had a big help in a humble pie. Um, we had hands on today, and the instructor says, "Hey, I want you guys to go ahead and perform some of these tasks." And one of the tasks, it seems so simple, but it is kind of a pain to do. And the instructor took quite a while to do it. And then I see one guy, he did it, took him a little while. Man, I'm telling you, I tried my hand at it, and man, I had to go pop the trunk. I had to go out there, I had to pop the trunk, I had to go get some of my own tools to go get it out because I was not getting the job done. Um, and I'm gonna tell you straight up, it's like this. It's like you see the handles on the Dairy Queen machine, any soft serve machine, right? You got to pull that handle down to get the product to come out. Well, this one particular machine is not like the others. This one particular machine, it's got this special ring. It's got a ring system that holds everything in place. Just a freaking ring. And um, to get the ring out, you gotta like get in there and pry it out. And then to put it back in is a whole other thing. To get it back in, you kind of gotta like take it in an offset. It's sort of like a broken slinky. Is anybody of a certain age, you know how slinky was, especially if a slinky snapped? Instead of it being that long stringy thing, it was like a flat disc that kind of fits together. And that's how this was. It was a flat disc, but you could split it apart and it would like come apart like that. And in order to put the damn thing back in there, you had to like split it apart, put half of it up, and then like wedge the other half and try to snap it back in place. The automotive guys had no problem with it, but us other guys, we struggle with it, and I struggle with it more than most. I did get it, but it was kind of humbling. It was very humbling to experience that. But they wanted us to do that in class because they noticed a problem doing it out in the field. So it's not like it's something that was easy to, relatively easy to do for most. They know that, they have a hard time with it. So that's the whole point of some of these hands-on classes. And tomorrow is actually the last day. Tomorrow's the last day. So enough of my rambling. Enough of my rambling. What I wanted to get to was besides your experiences with the classes, if any of you in here have taken them, I want to talk about these companies, as you guys like to call them, warranty companies, right? And they are not warranty companies. I'm out traveling, as you guys can see. I don't have this prepped. I don't have this already set up. Maybe I'll do it another time to go ahead and pull up this information. But these companies are these are people that are promising large corporations savings, right? They're promising them they're promising them convenience. So Miami, I wanted to address this. Miami is saying he took the multiplex seminar and you kind of got lost in it. Hey, what's going on, Frank? I see Frank everywhere. Um, saw you in the Morning Appliance podcast. Um, got lost in it. This is why I want you all to take these classes. This is why I say you will be lost when you take these classes. You will have no idea what the hell is going on in these classes the first time you take them, even the second time. But what will happen is that you're going to latch on to one thing, and your knowledge is going to grow from that one thing that you learn. The next thing you need to do, now you've had a little familiarity with these items, and like Stevenson said, hey, you starting to see these things, you're starting to notice them. Well, now you have familiarity with some of these seminars, these lectures, these online videos, and now you're starting to see the equipment. You should start to have that internal strength, that strength in that mental strength, that mental fortitude to just now start to make the next step of communicating with the people that are actually there using it. Not necessarily say, hey, I can go ahead and do that for you, but you start to talk to them and you start to say, hey, how often do you have problems with that? Has it broken down recently? Or man, I just had a class on that thing, man. Isn't that something that thing will beep when it goes out and it does 5 beats for this? And they'd be like, yeah, that thing was just beeping the other day. So that is the next step. You need to start to talk to these people in the locations. It kind of puts them off when you say, hey, I want to go and do work for you. But when you start to talk about it and you start to let them know that you have knowledge on the actual product, because most people don't have any knowledge on the product. They don't know what it is, what it's called. They don't know anything. And so for you to come up there and to start to talk about some of the errors and the error codes, some of the thing it does, how often it makes ice, the sounds it makes when it makes ice, all that good stuff. Oh, good. You went back a couple times for the other lectures. Yeah, and there's plenty of other videos for you guys to see. So the more you watch these videos, the more you attend some of these lectures, and you start to talk to the trainers. All right. After these lectures are over, especially on the live ones, after they're over with, they open it up for Q&A, and you can ask these people questions. They will give you their email address. Say, hey, if you got questions, email me, because this industry is full of know-it-alls, full of people with God complex, right? So only I can save it. Only I can, I know everything. They know so much that they want to tell the factory how to do things. Get a question. Oh yeah. Well, Frank, answer the question now. Let me see if I can address it in there. If not, you can still ask it later. Um, who muted the entire oh Lord. Uh anyway, so information. Information. The more you get this information, the more you're able to process it, think about it, the more you're out, because you don't have to go out of your way to see commercial appliances. Target, you go to Target. Someone had talked to me about the Starbucks machine, the espresso machine. So I had looked into that because you brought it up. Okay. All right, no problem. We'll go over that. You like I said, you just do for the health code stuff. You just do. Uh, yeah, I guess it's going to be. Yeah, you're going to do health code violations, Ventura, California, and then you're going to go. You're going to go search it from there. All right. If you can't find it, then I'll probably pull it up. All right, we'll pull it up and then we'll go through that so you can understand the wording. So Target, when you go to the grocery store, just take a look around. One of the grocery stores in my neighborhood, they are good. I got a good response for you on that. They're redoing the whole store. What they're exactly doing, I don't know. But they're taking the refrigerated cases, they turned them off. The Hossman guy was there. We chopped it up for a good minute. My daughter was so mad, but we chopped it up. Me and the Hossman guy, and I mean, he had put $4,000 worth of 448. I thought it was A, but he had said B. 448 refrigerant in the system. That's how much refrigerant goes in those cases where you have the eggs, where you have bacon, uh, cheese. And so what they did was they put standalone refrigerators, standalone open air merchandisers in there instead of their display cases. And then they're like chopping up the store. I don't know if they're cutting it in half or they're going to sell the other part of it, move the grocery store over to the. I have no idea what they're doing, but they're doing some real wild stuff. But I went through all that to say, even the grocery store that you go to, they had a brand I had never even seen. Matter of fact, they had two brands I had never seen before. Um, Probably I've been meaning to contact them, but I have so many people to contact. So many people to contact. Now, a question someone had. Well, Frank, what's your response when they tell me pick one lane and just stick with it? Um, I don't let anybody limit me. I don't let anybody limit me. Never. You know, why would you? I mean, they're not going to live your life for you. They're not going to pay your bills. They're not going to drive you around. You know, the next thing you know, they're going to tell you what kind of car to drive, what kind of clothes to wear. You know, you are your own person. You're controlling your own destiny. The more things you are educated on, the fewer restrictions you have. All right. Why put yourself in a box? Why put yourself in a box? Why limit yourself? All right. Oh, you already know how to read. Why you reading more? You know what? None of that should deter you from being the best you can be, right? None of that should deter you from maximizing your abilities. Because do you really know what you gravitate toward the best? Um, what is your lane, right? What is your lane? You could get into this and find out that what you really gravitate towards, what's simple, quick, and easy, might be something you haven't even gotten into yet. As I keep explaining to you all, if you get a single gas station chain, like what this gentleman is giving to me now, a single gas station chain can equal, like $2 million a year. $2 million a year. Let me, all right, calculator. Pull out the calculator. All right, $2 million. All right, $2 million, right? We're going to divide that by 60 stores. All right, $33,000 and 300 something a store. Divided by 12. So that's $2,777 a store. So if you can get $2,777 out of each store, you'll end up with $2 million. So that's not hard to do. Divided by, you're gonna at least have two or three machines. So if you get $1,388 out of just one machine, out of two machines, right? 1,388 times two, and then you do that with times all the stores. That's $2 million a year if you could take care of a single chain of gas stations, 60 gas stations with just two ice machines in them. You have to do these periodic cleaning. So if you clean each ice machine every quarter, right? And you end up with 1,300, we would say $1,400 a year out of each machine. What you have to do, you have to clean those machines, because if you don't clean the machines, you don't maintain the machines, they're not going to work. So it is not really that difficult. It is the economy of scale. All right. It's economy of scale. Taking care of a chain with a large, what that is called a footprint. With a large footprint means money. Means money. Sometimes you have to put in bids to get those kind of contracts. Like I was fiending. I was fiending for Sunoco Stripes so bad, so bad. Every time I went into a Sunoco Stripes, and they had 60 stores. They actually had 66. Every time I went to Sunoco Stripes, their Hoshizaki nugget ice machines would beep every single. Sometimes I would go in there and none of their ice machines would work, and they had about, I think they had about 4 ice machines in each Sunoco Stripes, and so that's just the ice machines. This one company had that. They were making $2 million off of Sunoco Stripes just off their ice machines, and they couldn't keep up. They ended up losing that contract. He only had like 7 guys, and it wasn't enough to do all the stores. He just couldn't get enough people. But just getting someone to say yes can change your financial life, change your financial future. All right. So this is not some get rich quick scheme. This is just do the damn numbers. Do the numbers. If you look at like a gas station with all the different equipment they have in there, and if you're the servicer for even just a few of the items, that is a huge contract. So speaking of huge contracts, I looked into that information that was given to me, about that one company. And so I contacted them, and they contacted me back. They called some Korean woman called me back, and I don't believe she's in the United States. I do not believe she was in the United States. So it was a very bad connection. It looked like it was a voice over internet VIP call, and she was really desperate about getting someone to come out. The contracts that she has are meat grinder contracts. And what I mean by that is it's very difficult to do target. These are some very highly technically proficient jobs that they have. I didn't even get into the numbers of the money, because the reason I didn't get into the numbers is because I just wanted to see what she was talking about. The targets that, I mean, the target 7-Eleven. Speaking of the gas station, 7-Eleven, which I know for a fact what kind of problems 7-Eleven has. I'm not going to dog them out, but I know what kind of problems they're having. Starbucks. So the Starbucks that they're taking care of, I believe, are not the standalone Starbucks. The Starbucks I believe that they're taking care of are like the ones inside the grocery stores and other such places, hospitals, office buildings. So you might have gone into an office building and saw a kiosk that was a Starbucks, or you might have went even into an airport and saw a kiosk that was a Starbucks. I believe they have the contract to do those. Um, with that being said, that these are some very demanding type of jobs, and you really got to know how you're going to price this stuff out, because it's the refrigerant that goes into some of these units. It's gotten really pricey. Matter of fact, I don't want to mess up the screen. It's gotten really pricey. It has gotten. Let me tell you what one of the jugs of like R448A. Let me see what the jug is going for. R448A is selling for. Oh God! And guys, go ahead and ask some other questions. Um, Let me see here. Let me just put in cost. So I can tell you because some of these things, some of these units are actually going to take a couple of grand worth of refrigerant price. So, and some of this stuff is not, that can't be right. Some of this stuff is, that can't be right either. There's so many scammers on the internet. Um, okay, that looks a little more like it. This 448, a 25-pound jug for $365. A 448A. I was told it was a lot more than that. 300, 400. Yeah, the prices are a little crazy. I would suggest going to United Refrigeration, URI, and getting your refrigerant. Um, while I'm getting into this with you guys, put in the name in the chat of the companies that you believe can supply you with commercial parts. Right. I know you don't do seal systems. Yes, yes. Commercial ice clean machine cleaning does not have anything to do with sealed system. I ran into an old man. He was a very old man. His company only does ice machine cleaning. And he does something that the factory says not to do. I don't agree with it either. He cleans ice machines only with bleach. And he has like about 6 or 7 guys. One of his contracts is Texas Roadhouse. Another contract is Olive Garden or Red Lobster. Um, he makes a killing. He makes a killing. And he doesn't do repair. I was there to do the repair. He's only Parstown is one of them, not my favorite. He 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 makes a killing, and he only got 7 guys. If he had 30 guys, he'd have all 30 working. Um, hey, I am. Oh, Frank, the commercial laundry. I want to show you the hotel that I'm staying in. The hotel I'm staying in has. Guess I'm gonna have to do this bogus bootleg style. Dexter. Dexter Laundry is what's washing the sheets. So I think I know somebody that has some of these machines, maybe, possibly. And there's the tag of whoever in the hell is doing this work. It didn't come out because I did this from the hallway. I didn't want to scare some nice little lady that was in there washing sheets. So there's another view. So they had 2 Dexters. So when you see that horse, right, it's Dexter. My fingernail. It's Dexter. There you go. It's Dexter. Dexter Laundry, which Mike Sneed has 2 washers, 2 dryers. I didn't really get the picture of the dryers because the dryers are going to be the same. They just increased the size of the casing of it. All the electronics, all the digital, everything is all the same. So Mike Sneed has got those exact same ones that are washing my sheets. So you can actually work, like I said, I know each and every one of you got a hotel near you somewhere, and they're using something. They're using Dexter, they're using Speed Queen, they're using Unimac, they're using Hiption. It doesn't sound the way it's spelled. It's yeah. Anyway, it's Alliance, Speed Queen Alliance. Uh, Anyway, it's German. So you got those. You got a huge number of commercial laundry. But yeah. So this is my hotel. So it says today 5 something p.m. I was going by today. That is right. This ain't some picture I had from some time ago. Oh, let me show them this. No, this is my hotel. This is what they got. This is what they got. That's what they got. All right. So he got, man, I was so envious of Mike for getting those. I tell him when I talked to him on the phone, I told him, I said, man, I was envious hell when I saw he had got that at that damn auction. These M hotels have people doing their cleaning. Yeah. Would be your question would be, how do you get into speaking with them, brother? Please, they don't. They're so beat up with calling the one or two companies to try to get somebody to work on their equipment. They are petrified of dealing with these other people. You don't know it yet, but you are entering into a field where a very select few have a monopoly. There's a whole strip, right, of hotels not far from you. Yeah, I know. I know. Everybody has them not that far from them. Everybody. So if they got sheets, if they got towels, they gotta wash them. All right, they gotta wash them. So all these places have laundry. They all do. And it's always a good place to start because you're not going to hurt your reputation if you can't get it going, if you can't fix it. Um, these are quote unquote undesirable clients anyway. But it's a good testing ground, good learning ground. To get your skills up, find out what the hell's going on, how to get this done, what parts you need. So it's not going to be that big of a deal if you got to leave and come back. Go and get something, order a part. You don't have to be a freaking expert going out working on laundry for a retirement home or a hotel, right? Why is that? Why do you not have to be like, the best guy out there? You don't have to be the best guy out there because they have other units. All right. I showed you the picture. They have two. That was like the crack I saw. I don't know what was in the wall on the other side of the room. So if they don't have one washer, they still have other washers. They still have another one, right? If they don't have one dryer working, guess what? They still got another dryer or another two, right? Um, so when you say people doing their cleaning, you mean doing their repair? They don't. These people will they try to fix them, but the monopoly that's out there, if you were to go ahead and try to Google and find out who is doing laundry repair in your area, you're going to find out that it's like one person. It's like one person per brand. So there's these kingdoms out there, and so you getting in the system is disrupting this land of kings and serfs, right? So get out there. You're not gonna just get out there and get dirty with it. Get out there and do it. I'm telling you about these clients that are out there that are looking for people. Um, Nobody's gonna care if you do work at a Subway. You're not gonna ruffle any feathers. That is a customer that the average service company does not want, or major service company that does not want. Laundry, that is a company that is a customer that they do not want. The only thing you're gonna run into with laundry is that if it is a very well run hotel, they might not even own their laundry, right? Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. My apps about the HVAC. So HVAC gets slow in the winter, and so what they do is they use ice machines to bridge that slow period. And so they get into it and they'll do like ice machine leasing and they do maintenance, but it's really a business they don't really care much about. One for Scotsman, one for Hoshizaki. Yeah, and they have a tri-state area. So when you're big like that, when you're big, there's always room for the little guy to get in. All right. Yeah, you can get commercial parts for Parstown. Okay, so everybody's just saying Parstown. Now you all do realize that the whole point of me telling you to go to the class closest to you is because that is actually who is your distributor. That is actually who's supposed to give you your parts. That is actually who's going to pay you, right? So you actually have all points that have parts, right? You actually have Baker that have parts. Now, here's the thing about Baker. Baker is expensive. Baker is expensive, but Baker has to have the part because they are the distributor. So they are obligated to carry the parts. Um, so if you do need it, you do have to have it. You don't have to worry about ordering from Partstown and having it sent next day for $130 or whatever for next day, or paying $85 for 2 days shipping and all of this stuff. You can go right on over to your local baker and pick up the part. Um, Not offering. Yeah. So I'll look into that, but it all depends on what brand. So in the DMV, yeah, they're offering it. Some of these distributors are double dipping. They're doing the service work too, or they like gone behind under the table and they bought some of the service companies, so they're double dipping. Right, you used to go to Baker, right? Baker has parts. United Refrigeration has parts. URI. All Points, Partstown, Baker, URI, and then there's a number like there's ARS over there in Arizona and California, Southern California. ARS, not ARS Roto-Rooter, but the other ARS. There's an ARS that's a distributor for Scotsman. So all you guys that are in Southern California, ARS has a class. They just had some that I actually had missed in Phoenix. Sorry about that, guys. But ARS had some classes. What some of these people are doing is they're putting out the flyers for like a day or two, and then they're snatching it down. So I literally have to check these sites every single day to get this information to you, because if I don't, it'll be there and it'll be gone. Isomatic, I harassed them and I harassed them and I harassed them to get classes. So they're going to give classes in Chicago. They're giving classes in Houston, but they really limited the number of people that can attend. So I have to see what the deal is with that, because that class I think is in March in Chicago. And then I was trying to get a solid answer from Empire in Chicago as to when they're going to do the isomatic class, and then when they're going to do Hoshizaki, because Empire bought my distributor for isomatic in Houston. Which for you guys, what that means, it's a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on. Empire is a distributor in Chicago that sells Hoshizaki the machines. They actually service Hoshizaki machines and they sell the parts for Hoshizaki machines. Well, Hoshizaki sells to Jimmy John's. They sell to Chipotle and other places. As you go in these places, you're going to start to see the penguin. It's a penguin emblem on the equipment, and I like to call it the golden penguin, because their parts cost as much as they weigh in gold. Very expensive parts for no apparent reason other than they charge by the weight. So they actually, in order to sell in Houston, they actually just bought their other distributor, the other competitor in Houston. So I tried to get away from them, but I can't, because they just bought my only option for isomatic. So fun times ahead. Fun times ahead. Has anybody else taken any of the classes? Any classes? Um, And like I said, it's time for me. It's the end of the month, so it's time for me to give you some more information on March. So I give you guys some more class information on March. Um, so that's due. That's coming up. Um, has anybody uh, tried to actually talk to a physical location so far? Has anybody struck up a conversation at all? Anything? Oh, just had a customer pay me. I'd love to see that. All right. Anybody, feel free. Say what's on your mind. Say what's on your mind so I can address it. Um, so let's see here. So yeah, in California and Arizona, you have ARS that sells parts, and then you have, oh God, you have another parts house in California. Their catalog is red. They sell a lot of parts for walk-ins. Um, and California commercial parts. And for the gentleman that's over there that was having a hard time trying to find the health department. Did you ever get in Ventura, California? Did you ever find out the health department information? Okay, so you want to know what I learned in class today. Like I said, I don't know when you came in, but I got my ass handed to me in class today. I got, I got, I got worked over in the ring. I got worked over. Um, yeah, you can call to find out. You're actually supposed to call, Frank. Um, I would always have to get parts at most places, and they would post signs on their door. Right, they're gonna put. Oh, okay, they post signs on the door about when the classes are. Yeah, um, they're really not doing that like they're supposed to. They stop posting the training class signs on the door, and they just leave them on the counter. They just leave them in a stack on the counter, and then they're not even having a big stack. It's just like a few sheets on the counter, if that. And then so kind of like what that's leaving, Frank, what that's like leaving things up to is the counter person. So that's leaving the counter persons to be the bouncers for the club. It's leaving the counter workers to be the gatekeepers on who gets training, who doesn't, when they don't put the that sign up sheet in the window. Um, so what Frank is talking about in the chat is that um, they'll post those same forms that you guys see me do the PDF on the screen. They'll post that on the door coming in. Um, yeah, but for HVAC too, right? But they only have those HVAC suppliers only do like maybe one or two ice machine brands. Uh, Baker only does the one. But Johnstone, and see, Johnstone doesn't even do any. They'll Johnstone Supply will sell. Oh, Johnstone Supply has commercial parts as well. Johnstone Supply and Johnson. John Stone will sell you Scotsman. They will sell you Manitowoc. I believe they'll sell you almost any commercial ice machine brand. And they have parts. They got floats for Isomatic. They got floats for Manitowoc. They have ice machine cleaner there on site. But their focus, their main focus is air conditioning. So they'll post in a hot minute. They'll post when they have a split training, split system training. Um, they'll post when they have classes as pertain. And I posted some of these when they have classes pertaining to walk-in classes, the refrigeration side of things, and then especially like the equipment. Now, what did I learn in class? I learned today we had hands on. So I just had my ass handed to me today on trying to fix that damn Dairy Queen machine. Oh yeah. No, no, Johnstone does. Johnstone does. They have a thick catalog, like about that big. The parts that they have are especially for isomatic. The parts that they have is isomatic. Um, they do. You have to ask them about it. They're just not telling you that they have them because they have the condenser fan motors. They have like I said, condenser fan motors. They have switches. They have a lot of stuff, especially for isomatic. Especially John Stone, because actually John Stone is contracted to have, see, the Scotsman or Isomatic. Oh man, I think it's Isomatic because I don't. If you ever go into John Stone, you might just notice that there's an ice machine in there, and they are contracted to have that ice machine. All right. Okay. Now remember what I said. I'll get to that question about what I learned at class, but I'm gonna address this real quick. All right. Remember what I said earlier, that having the violation is an indicator. That's an indicator. There is where there's smoke, there's fire, right? Yeah, I know. And did not find. Yeah, you'll find it. You'll find it. You have to keep looking. Um, those are people that you need to go to. So first of all, they had a violation. So it is extremely difficult for those people to catch up. And then now they know the health department has them on their radar. They really don't want to have problems. So they want to get somebody to take care of their stuff. Chances are, if they did call in another service provider, they got an extremely high bill, a very eye popping bill. And if somebody else comes in and says they want to perform some services for them, they are more than willing to entertain that. So these are prime targets. These are people that you want to talk to. These are people that you want to talk to. And let's see here. Johnstone, and then like I said, with the class I had today, so we went over the Dairy Queen machine and like the most common problems. So that's the whole point of going to these classes. Um, you go to the class to find out what the most common problem is, and let's see here. What I'm going to do is let me go ahead and so we talked about like snap springs and we talked about power. We talked about voltage. We talked about polarity. We talked about phase. So um and this is something very important for you guys to understand. We went over this a lot in class, that yes, you can have a customer with a piece of equipment that could have been in their place for 5 years, 6 years, no problem, operating with that faulty electrical system, no problem. We were talking about an ice machine that has 220 outlet for one flavor, and the other flavor has its own 220 outlet, but internally the system is wired together. Um, It's all one machine, but it's got two separate plugs because they're both connected to a unit like an air conditioner. So each one, if you can wrap your head around this, it's one big machine, but it's essentially two separate air conditioners in it, right? So one hopper with the handle, let's just say it's vanilla, it's got its own 220 plug, and the other one is chocolate, has its own 220 plug, and it's hooked up to a unit outside to dissipate the heat. Now, if you have two different phases for electricity, if the power goes out at that building, they had a power outage and power come back on, boom, they blow a $2,000 board, and you come in and then you go and you put in the brand new $2,000 board, and it pops the brand new $2,000 board. You're like, what the hell? You go ahead and check it, and if you find out that the phases are not the same, and they're like, well, no one's come and messed with our electricity. Nobody's done any of that stuff. What they found is that that the units are, even though they're plugged up to two separate outlets, the actual one, the one that does the vanilla, that one is actually sending the power for the compressor. So the power is coming in. There's two contactors, and there's no fuse. There's no inline fuse. And what's happening is that power is coming in, and the contactor is arced and fused, and it's in the on position, and it overloads, and it turns the $2,000 control board into a fuse, and it will turn it glowing red, and it will pop. So stuff like that. So before you go in and they say you have a blown board, you need to check the contactors. If your contactors, especially if the right side is welded into the on position, if it's always on, you got to check your outlets to see if everything matches. L1 and L2, if everything is the right phase and everything else like that, you got to check it. Make sure everything is exactly the same, because chances are they're not. So just stuff like that. Oh, I did, I tried to do this video because it was getting late. I was talking with the guy that's interested in helping out his friend by sending me his business. So it's gonna benefit hopefully the both of us. Give me business, and then his friend is going to um, not be subjected to these $2,000 repair bills by the local competitor here. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying. There we go. Just uploading some videos, and while these videos are uploading,
Then you're going to go ahead and unplug
bigger.
your white and your blue. Which on this one looks like blue goes to blue and white goes to black. That's your power to your pump motor.
Yeah.
That pump motor.
Yes. Sorry about that, but all right, I'm uploading another video. So yes, pump motor. That's what I was working on with that machine. Basically, that is like
What might be
the
a
biggest issue.
symptom that you would know that something could be wrong with the pump?
Product's too heavy, not enough air in it.
That's right.
You're right.
It's the product. It's too heavy, and the reason being, this little
Yeah. You use an amp
That's
clamp.
exactly
Yes,
right.
that's one of the things they were talking about.
that's overlooked a
You should
lot.
not have any amps
And
on
see,
the
it's got
ground
that
wire.
little insert inside of it. That's what wears out.
And
I've seen
don't
them so
worry about
worn out that you can
having all
take
that down pat.
it
Whenever you
completely
have a
off
low board,
this
especially if
nut
it's going to be something like this, call
without
Texas.
taking the nut out.
Just call them. Especially since you're so new in the business, just call them. Please just call them. You're going to save yourself thousands of dollars and having to explain something to the freaking customer when just call tech support. Just call tech support. All right, so I'm uploading another video. So yeah, we had actual hands-on. So that the video that you just saw with that older gentleman, he showed us how to change the bearings in that motor. It's basically, that machine is a whole lot simpler than what I thought it was. I was under the impression that machine was like super complicated, and it really was stripped down. It really all boils down to the pump. It really boils down to the pump. That pump will get clogged, and then it won't supply.
Cutout switch. The wires look very freaking similar. And they're real close to each other.
Okay. So
Pay attention
this
to
is
which
what you're
ones are
experiencing,
which.
what I'm experiencing.
Same gauge,
What I see.
same lot of everything. So they're different colors, but people will go through and plug them into the wrong thing.
Would you tape them together?
You could tape them together. Whatever's going to take to keep them in the direction of where they need to be plugged in. You'll find out real quick when all of a sudden it keeps on saying it has a high pressure cutout on it, and you're like, this thing isn't even running. You'll know that you'll have these things on backwards. It will not blow anything up. All right.
Exactly. So
Next thing you're going to do is
You
get,
gotta go back the same way you took them off.
yeah. Well,
yep,
it
so
doesn't
you
matter.
take them off. So that was that.
It's just close.
It's a whole day of what the most common
Um,
things are. A whole day. You guys hear me okay? Are you guys hearing me okay? I got one more to load up. I got one more video to load up. So I was back a little bit, but this is going to take the longest. It's going to take the longest time. Oh, hell, I can't see none of y'all comments. So anyway, so word to the wise. Word to the wise. This is I was back a little bit, but yeah, you can get right up in there. This was a class. All right, I see somebody just left a comment. I'm looking at my screen as it's loading. All right, so the video is finally ready. This is only a 2-minute video, and this will probably last. Oh, good. Probably the last video.
You don't really need to worry about unplugging anything else.
This is the pump.
So you won't have to worry about
So what
chasing
this
down how
pump
to
does is
rewire the
it will
thing. Just
take
when you order it, if you were to order the
it will
wrong
take
one.
the mix,
So if you order one for like a
soft,
remote
the
pump,
ice
the one
cream
had
soft serve mix, and
same damn
that
motor,
pump
just
will
wired
actually
differently.
suck it. I thought it
So
used some kind of carbonation or
now
whatever,
you're gonna have
but it
three
or some
7
kind of like
16
CO2.
nuts holding that
That
thing to the
pump
wall.
actually creates suction.
Please do not
So
use
all
your
that
freaking impact on these.
the
They
bag
are
from the
tacked on
refrigerated
to the back wall.
section at the bottom, and it'll
You
pump it
break them
up
off, you're
into
screwed.
the
There's
hopper,
no putting them
not
back.
into the cylinder,
Long carriage bolts.
and that cylinder will freeze
If you
and
have to.
give you that
I didn't recommend
give you that product. And now, not only does it
It's
suck
regular
up
Titan.
that milk
That's right.
and sugar
Another
mixture,
thing that I'm going to
it
give you for a
actually
tidbit
controls your
is
overload.
obviously when you're doing this behind
All
that
right,
brute
so
force
there's a
surgery, when you got
setting
two
in there
compressors in here.
to
Notice how you
keep
just
your
dropped the
overload.
nut down there. I always shove a rag behind the compressor before I do this because I drop at least one of those nuts every freaking time I do this, and guess where it goes?
And that's
Right
the
underneath the
and that's
compressor.
the
And now that
trainer
compressor's got
who is
lip that
also
curls under.
the technician
You
from
can't just pick
you
the
know,
machine
Cedar,
up,
New York,
go like this with it. So you gotta sit there and
New
try
York
to
State,
shove
all that
something underneath there, try to
Connecticut,
catch it and try to get it out of there.
Maine. So he does all that.
See, when I
That's all
fly,
his
I don't have
territory.
shit with me.
And he's also the nationwide trainer.
So basically, just be on the safe side. Throw a rag in there, throw paper towels in there, something between the wall and the compressor. It'll yeah, pull straight out.
Bam, here we
Or
go.
one of those magnetic bolts.
That is it, man. That is the machine. All right, you see the compressor, that black compressor right there? That's the same compressor that's in the air conditioner.
So here is our
All right, so I didn't want to put anybody's faces on the screen or anything like that. Don't want to get in trouble, and I don't want to have anybody else get a phone call say, "Hey, man, you had this guy in class. I'm looking right at you on this guy's screen." So that's why I don't show anybody's face. So yeah, that is the machine. That item right there is what makes the magic happen. It sucks up the cream, and it volumizes, it adds the air, and then it injects it into the hopper where it freezes, and then a single nozzle opens and then it comes out. And so sometimes they can break the nozzle by putting a bucket there. So they'll try to empty out what product is left in there, and then they'll break the handle. And so that's what they were showing us how to take the clamps, the support rings, and they're not oh god, I keep wanting to say O-rings, but they're not uh they're not clamps that you could use a tool on. You actually have to get in there with a sharp instrument and like pry them out. There's no holes. They're not C clamps or any of those other kind of clamps. They're a weird slinky spiral type of deal. All right, now let's see here. Da, 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 da. Yeah, so we had a very good comment in there. When you suspect a short, use your amp clamps right on the ground wire at the terminal block. And then they were, so that is true. And then they were saying about the, um, or short, yeah, they were saying something about the common. So you got to check your common wire. So in these, everything is wired using a single unbroken chain using the common side. Um, so yeah, that is all that they said lots of problems with that. Okay. Let's see here. Code violations. Now let me see here. You were in California. So let me get back to you. 26 years commercial electrician in Chicago, where I am from. All right. Bryant, I have been doing appliance repair for 3 years. Yeah, that's good. That's good. You're doing residential or commercial? I got a cousin in Chicago that's an electrician he's been doing appliance repair for my father, with my father for, man, I want to say it's a good 15 to 18 years. All right. Ventura, California. Ventura, California. Let's see here. Let me see. Share screen. And we are going to do a window. Let's see what we got. Maybe I should do it different. Let me remove this. Let's see here. All right. Anything else you guys want to know about or look into while I'm doing this? Ooh, you worked on the daiquiri machine before. Looks it is no, it it ain't just similar. It is that. It is the same damn thing. It is the same thing. They actually do make daiquiri machines. So everything is the same. You can actually change the settings to do daiquiri. Let me go into my notes. Yeah, I'm gonna do a why I say stop screen. Let me erase this. I'm gonna stop this screen. I'm gonna add a new screen. I'm just gonna share daiquiri machine soft serve. The only thing that's different, Frank, is the settings. Because you have all that alcohol, you have to make everything colder because of the alcohol and sugar content is preventing it from freezing. So you got to make it colder so that you can at least get it to start to freeze up. All right, I'm gonna just do the entire screen. All right, sorry if you got any epileptic issues, but we're gonna have to do it like this, and then we are going to do this. So let me do this real quick. Like I did this before. Ventura County Health Department. Let me do health code violations. All right, let's see what we can come up with. Restaurant complaints, code enforcement, violations. Oh, let's see here. Okay, so I've never been in here before. I've never been in here. Let me go on YouTube to make sure that I am seeing everything correctly. Bam. Okay, good. I am seeing everything correctly. All right. You worked on the daiquiri machine. Hey Frank, was it low on charge? Was it a Crathco or was it like one of those parrot machines? Please don't tell me it was like a Taylor or something. All right, inspections results posted. Oh, come on, people, just give me everything. Lots of issues, right? Lots of issues. They don't take care of them. They don't take care of it. All right, Ventura, California. Ooh, my favorite 24-hour fitness. Oh, I got to see this. Oh, okay. I was gonna see no violations. Oh, so these people are being paid off. I mean, these people are being very political. All right, let's see here. A bar called Country. Let's see what's going on here. All of it. Restaurants. All right. Whoa. Okay. So, wall and ceilings severely deteriorated. Floor deteriorated. Plumbing inoperable. Fixtures are leaking. Here we go. Observe the dish machine garbage disposal at the warewash area leaking. Repair in the meantime. Utilize the 2-compartment sink. All right, across in the walk-in cooler. Repeat violation. Unapproved equipment. Oh Lord, they're using milk crates. Repeat violator. I am not. It is a restaurant though. Man, it sounds like a country club. This sounds just like a country club. All right, there's a carbon dioxide tanks. Floor underneath the equipment is chipped. Let's get to the good stuff. Let's see here. Wiping cloth sanitizer, floor plans. Oh, inspection follow up, equipment or utensils impounded. What the hell? And released from impound. Oh Lord. Uh he tagged the container that they were in, so they couldn't even use the utensils. I have never heard of that before. Oh, here we go. He observed 50 parts per million of chlorine on the utensils. Contact a mechanical dishwasher. Food facility officially approved by Ventura. All right, to resume. Okay, so what this guy had found is he didn't find enough chlorine on the utensils the first time, so then he impounded them. Okay, that is weird. You're not supposed to check the actual utensils for chlorine. You're supposed to check the water that washes over them. So equipment and utensils found to be unsanitary or in such disrepair that food may become adulterated or contaminated. Okay, that was 2020 though. Oh man, 2020, 2022. Yeah, some of these are old. Some of these are old. I would I don't like bars. I really don't like bars. If you guys were asking about, because someone asked me earlier about my hours, do I do an 8 hour day? My daughter is a preteen, and so I'm at home 90% of the time. I'm at home and see her off to school when she takes the bus, and then I'm at home. I make it back home uh, when she gets home from the excuse me, when she gets home taking the bus, right? And what that does for me is I avoid the morning traffic. I'll do paperwork, I'll order parts, things like that, call customers if I need to. But mainly order parts, and maybe if I had to collect money from customers, call in the manufacturers, things like that. I'll do that in the morning, especially if it's early in the morning. I can always call anybody on the East Coast because they'll be there. And then in the evening, well, like she gets back like four something. So I'm avoiding that evening traffic, doing the same thing, and then I can go home, make sure she's make sure she's eaten, and then make sure she don't get in trouble. Make sure check on her and her homework and stuff like that, and then I could leave out again. If I want to, I could leave out again and then go check on whatever bar, or restaurant, or whatever that opens up at 4 or 5 o'clock, because those places don't open up earlier. I I absolutely positively hate them. And for anybody who is in the Houston area, yeah, I know I saw that the date was 2020. So, but you have to look through all of these. You have to look through all of these. Sorry, I'm seeing. You can't see me on the screen, but I'm looking at the chat on my phone. Ooh, there we go. Here's a pizza shop. Here's a pizza shop. It's 2022. All right. So even though these are 2022, right, it's still giving you, excuse me, a picture. It's giving you a picture of what these people are doing, how they're running their location. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it, man. Kern County. Is that California? Is that excited? Oh, good, good, good. Oh, thank you. Thank you. What's that? DL Mark? How do you say that name? Can I just call you V Mark? All right. Yeah, it gives you it paints a picture of who these people are. What kind of people are running these facilities, right? So once again, here's another one. The utensils and warewashing sanitization. They don't have the test materials. They don't have the strips. So these people, yeah, the strips are expired. These people are in this area. They are really, really tough when it comes. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Current California. I think there's some YouTubers out that way. Uh, I know that name. So anyway, let's see here. Drying mop. Yeah, whoever works in this area of California is very big on that whole section of the kitchen. Oh, here we go. All right, so here food is being maintained above 41 degrees. And so they say it's hazardous, right? The refrigerator is used for storage of potentially hazardous food. It is maintained above 41 degrees, which this guy is or one whoever the hell this is, but they're a real stickler. See, this one is saying that the cold blah 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 is at a temperature above 45, right? So see, they're saying adjust, repair, or replace the unit. So the local government is going to come into that establishment and they are going to tell the proprietors of that establishment. It doesn't matter if it's a McDonald's. It doesn't matter if it's a Hyatt Regency. It doesn't matter if it's a high school. It doesn't matter if it is a freaking amusement park, a museum, uh, hell, even a government food court. They are going to come in. They have the legal authority to come in, test all of the equipment, and say this is not safe for human consumption. You will give people botulism. People, you will get them sick. This is not maintaining the food at a proper temperature. And if they don't, they will fine them. And if they keep going, they will shut that business down. So, even though that was 2021, maybe they had this thing repaired a couple times. Who knows? Maybe it's down again. I would definitely go to this place. No, it is not a smoking gun, but it's a smoke signal. It's a smoke signal. It's a very, very small location, 50 seats, amici, pizza and pasta on Telephone Road in Ventura, California. Um, I would definitely give a place like this my information. I do like pizza ovens, so I would definitely go to a place like this and give them my information. They don't have very much by way of refrigeration in a pizzeria. So this could either be, which is why they might not have taken care of it. This can either be the refrigerator that they're keeping canned beverages, litered bottles, that type of stuff in, maybe even wine. So which is why they might not have cared that it was at a higher temperature because it's just soda. Or it could have been the prep tables that they're keeping pasta sauce in, cheese, uh, pepperoni, tomatoes, you name it. So who knows? Um, so let's see here. This is another one. I don't know if you guys seen it before, but so they have a walk-in. So this means here that they have a walk-in. So the exterior door, vermin door gap. I don't know. Maybe this is hard to tell. I would like to say that this is a walk-in, but it could easily be the door for either the back or the front. They're not specifying. The exterior door has a gap of greater than a quarter of an inch on the bottom, top, or side. So they're saying that mice might get in. Let's see here. Food storage. So they're still talking about that refrigerator. And that was 2019. So 2019, they had a problem with the fridge. 2020, they had a problem with the fridge. In 20 da, 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 in 2021, they had a problem with the fridge. I would go over there. They got a problem with the fridge. They're gassing and going. They're gassing it up. And maybe the person is not going to come back anymore. Maybe they're tired. Maybe I would go. I would go. I would most definitely go on over there. Debris. Oh, see, this is the same place. If you just, I don't care if it's 2018. I don't care. This is telling you who these people are. This is telling you who these people are. Um, Clean and maintain the following items to eliminate accumulation of debris. Right. So the doors are dirty. It's a two-door freezer. So they're saying there's debris at the base of the door. All right, at the base of a single door. So that's one unit that has two doors. One unit is dirty. Then another unit that has one door is dirty. Then mounted can opener. What the hell is that supposed to mean? All right, shelving of the walk. Oh, so they do have a walk-in cooler. Ah, base of the walk-in cooler under shelving. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. But anyway, you get the idea. So this place does have a walk-in. I do not believe that the gap that this mentioned earlier. Oh, see. Oh, build up a debris, a wall. I don't believe that that door that the health department is talking about, this pest and gap thing. I believe this to be the walk-in. I believe this to be the walk-in. I don't really think they care too much about the front door. I believe this to be the walk-in. All right. So, all right. So let's see here. Bakersfield, California. Jacob, did you move out to Bakersfield in the 90s or were you born out there? Let's see. And so would you just walk into these places like this bar and give them your card? Blah blah blah. Okay, so I don't just I never give people a card. I never give people a card. Um, this is 2023 and a card gets lost. I am going to give y'all a little something. I'm going to hook you up with a little bit of game. What I do is I actually make these people a portfolio. Um, I go and I take a look, right? So if I were you, I go in there when they're not busy, right? Or somebody who's not busy, and you strike up the conversation, say, hey, I do appliance repair, and I you know, notice that you have a couple of things going on that you need service on, and I would like to give you my information. I see you have true uh, prep tables and things like that, and I actually service that. Here's my information. Here's whatever information you've accumulated, whatever information about yourself, and you give it there. You say, hey, we do a nice preventative maintenance program or whatever. Like you have this inside information. Use it. You know that these people have problems. You hit on those trigger words. We help prevent problems with the health department. So you harp on those things. That is what you have as ammunition at this stage in the game, right? So you don't have all that training behind you, but what you do have is this inside track. So yeah, we do stuff like we take care of the door gaskets, temperature problems with refrigeration. You ring that bell. You ring that. No, you guys can't see me talking to you. I'm moving my arms and everything, but you ring that bell. You ring that bell. You bring these things up. You don't overtly say, "Oh, I looked on the health department sheet and I saw it." No, man, just yeah, we take care of problems like door gaskets. Like if your temperature's off by a little bit, we can make those type of corrections. We will take a look at it and make those type of corrections. Advise you on if you need door gaskets or if you need any kind of seal system repair or if you actually just need to buy a new one or any other type of thing. We can help you with all those things. So see, going back, the further back I go, they're trying, but the further back I go with this place, the worse it gets. And so, God, potentially hazardous foods. Again, food temperature, not cooling, improperly cooled. Observe large plastic lids inside the walk-in at 45 degrees. You have this ammunition. You need to use it. You need to use it. Oh wow, you one of the few people born and raised out there. Where I'm from in Chicago, back in the 90s, early 90s. Oh man, thousands of people moved from my part of Chicago to Bakersfield. It was like the promised land or something. All right, so look, you got to harp on this with this place. You don't say, "Yeah, I've been looking on the health department." You don't have to say that. You just say, "Hey, we can help you out with preventative maintenance issues. Say you have refrigerators that are not operating at the temp. The health department doesn't like that kind of thing. We can help you out with that. All right. You bring that up. You have to sell that part of the business, right? This is a business and you have to deal with it accordingly. All right. You have to deal with it. Oh Lord, equipment is connected directly to the sewer. So what they mean to say is there was no air gap. They had this thing connected like it was at a house. So which means they had people who were not real service people do this. Okay, equipment is unclean and maintained in an unsanitary condition. This is all the way back. So now, even though they don't have any like currently egregious things going on, this tells you who they are. So this tells me they actually give a damn, right? So the health department's been coming around. The health department is saying, "Hey, we need you to get this done." What this appears to be is that they're only a 50-seat restaurant. So this appears to be a place that um is not serviced by the local service company. The local service company is maybe too expensive for them. They might not have the money to pay that $2,000 service ticket every time that local guy comes by and closes them upside the head, runs off with their pocketbook. They're not liking that, so they're trying to walk this balance of paying all their bills and keeping the doors open. And they are walking the right path. So whatever they're telling the health department, whatever they're doing to keep the health department happy is working. It is working. So this is definitely, you gotta look at the whole, like Chris at HVACR video says, you gotta look at the big picture, right? He likes to say that on repair. I like to say that when you're talking about the client as a whole. So this does not appear to be a bad client. This does not appear to be a bad person that is running this. I could be wrong, but they are moving in the right direction. Yep. Okay, so here we go. Back up to that was 2019. I was all the way down, and now I'm going back up. So the vent hood, the exhaust ventilation hood, and grease filters are not maintained properly. They're not cleaned in a sanitary manner. There is only like one or two companies per city that have the license to clean an exhaust hood because of the chemicals and disposing of that grease. So it is a very specialized thing. You cannot touch commercial hoods. Don't do it. Avoid it at all costs. Um, so this, yeah, they didn't have the money to pay to have the hoods done. This what I'm seeing here is a struggling restaurant that makes money. It makes just enough money. They are hoping for a better day. All right, replace both gaskets. And it's like when the virus hit and everybody was ordering 2019, 2020, they appear to have some more money. So you see the inspection violations go away, right? Only one mention of the refrigeration, right? It wasn't like it was before. You got to look at this picture, man. Rogers Park in Chicago. Mo tips. That's right. That's right, Frank. Mo tips. Yeah, a portfolio. Yes, you gotta look at the whole. You gotta look at the whole picture for the people, and you gotta do a portfolio. So people, you have to give them something to look at. And a business card. I made the crazy ass mistake of putting a bunch of names on the business card, and it's just too much. It's just too much. You put like by the time you get through with like 5 or 6 different brands, the business card just doesn't. Nothing stands out. Nothing makes any. It's just noise. It's just noise on the business card. So what you want to give them is a portfolio. You're gonna want to give them, no matter what size you make it, you want to hit these points. You want to make it where it's easy for them to open up, and you want to make it where you're going to give them a synopsis, right? You want to give them this syllabus, and it's gonna say it's gonna have outline what you're gonna do for them. And this might sound rudimentary, this might sound oversimplified, but you got to keep it the KISS method. You got to keep it simple. We will clean the machines. We will clean your refrigerators. We will clean your prep tables. We will clean the evaporators. Well, you're going to say mainly clean the condensers because it's kind of hard to get to these evaporators. But we'll clean drains. We'll clean the drains in the refrigeration, which is the drain lines. Um, you know, check for overall health of the operation of the compressor. Check for the condenser fan motors. So because you can't throw out all of this information as far as oh yeah, we're trained on this and trained on that. Hit them with what they really need to know. And then actually your portfolio, that information that you're going to leave with them is something they can just throw in the health department's face with 2 hands grasp up on it. They're gonna say, "Hey, look, we got this guy that we're gonna call. Oh Jesus, we got this guy that we're gonna call, and we're gonna call him out, and he's gonna take care of this. See, he's gonna take care of this for us." All right, let's see here. Okay, got 11 people. I'm boring 11 people right now. All right, pest control. They had cucarachas, active cockroach infestation. An active cockroach infestation is observed within the food facility. All right, so donut shops, donut shops, donut shops, donut shops. I do not like donut shops. I do not like the congealed grease that you get caked up on the equipment from the donut shop. I do not like the ice machines that do not work because they got all this flour and yeast and mold and stuff growing inside the ice machines from the donut shop. I do not like it. I do not like it at all. Oh, look at this. All right. 3 live cucarachas behind the dough mixers at the preparation area. So, hey, Mike Reed, man, I don't want to work around no roaches, man. I don't want to work around no roaches, no rats, no rats, man. Hey, read the health department reports before you go and jump in there head first. Go kick in the dough, wave in the fofo. Go look these people up and do a little research on these people. Yeah, I know it just adds protein. All right, Stormbreaker or whatever the hell that movie was, based on the book where they was eating bugs and protein and a train that never did stop. Yeah, okay. I see Mr. Grasshopper Eater. You see right here, the health department isn't the one that's going to hide something from you. If they have roaches, they're going to put it in the report. So you're not going to be surprised when you get there and there's no roaches because they didn't put there was any roaches in there. All right. So You are getting the full picture. Do you give like a 4 hour minimum charge? Um, I do not. My competitors gives a 4 hour minimum charge. I see those guys like if we're out there together, like I might be out there for an ice machine and my competitor might be out there for a prep table. And I'm looking over there and I know that they're just there for a diagnosis, but they're like sitting there typing on the computer with 2 fingers. I'm like, what the hell? Bruh, and they're just there. They're just there because they got a 4 hour minimum. So they don't leave. My competitors don't leave. But I gotta leave. I got other places to go. I got people I have to go see. Um, I, I work my system a little different. I get in and get out. Let us get your commercial complaint. I'll be using it for sure. Let us get your let us get you commercial compliant. I was saying complaint. I'm sorry, it's late. I got like 5 hours of sleep the other day. Oh man. Let us get you commercially compliant, commercial compliant. I'll be using it. Yeah, sure. That'll work. Yeah, that'll work. Um, yeah, the reason why they got all these 99 cent stores is because they're selling food. These 99 cent stores are selling food. Open air barbecue, wood burning facility. What the hell? Oh, no violations. Good for them. All right. This is what the hell I was looking for. Why the hell they keep coming up with the Baja? All right, whatever, man. Um, yeah, all these dollar places, they're selling food. And so the problem is I get a lot of calls for those. A lot of calls for those because um those freezers or refrigerators don't work half the time. Ensure to clean underneath the shelving throughout the store. Um, no violations. And see here, no mention of any rodents. All right. They check for that. That is what they do. They check for mouse droppings and all that kind of stuff. Permits not posted, permit, restroom. See, restrooms not clean. Mini refrigerator. Yeah, yeah. They're not supposed to have that in it. Oh, disgusting. They turned the bathroom into a break room. Boxes of apparel, mini refrigerator, and microwave inside the restroom. Oh, discontinue storing food inside the bathroom. Oh, I would like to say that I have never seen that before, but I would be lying. I would be lying if I said that. I would be lying. What the hell kind of 7-Eleven store is this that ain't got no violations? That must be a very nice area. Cause I'm not familiar with 7-Eleven that's keeping their areas clean like that. Okay. Vin County of Ventura. Because Ventura is supposed to be a nice area, right? Isn't Ventura County nice? Oh damn, I keep going to that Baker thing. Ah. All right. So yeah, this is clearly very political over here. What I'm getting, the vibes I'm getting from this area is okay, cool. I got the replays of the training. Yeah, it's very political. This is very political. Yes, keep going through your stuff. All right, let's go through here. I think it should have synced. Ugh, my stuff should sync by now. How long have we been on? How long have we been on? Because it's like 10:50. La, 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 la. Oh, good. I'm glad you can find them notes helpful. But yeah, definitely hit on those keywords, right? Because the health department been going there for years. The health department is there, it's fresh on their mind. They know, all right, here's the deal. If you know that the health department has been there and you know, hey man, there's no current health department report. Well, they didn't dissolve the health department. So the health department is coming back. They don't know when the health department is coming back. They don't give them any type of notice or warning. So that I'm pretty sure that's fresh on their mind. That, oh Jesus, 100 minutes. I'm pretty sure that they know that, ooh, we're due, we're due for the health department to come back. And oh God, I hope everything is okay. That's more than likely. That's where they are in this phase. Is that the owner or the manager is in the hope phase. As I like to say, they're high on that hopium. They hope that the inspector doesn't come by. They hope that they don't find anything wrong when they do come. They hope that they don't come now. They hope when you start talking about it, they're gonna be like, "You're not from the health department, are you?" Because they've had problems, so they got to get this stuff together. Oh, 100 minutes. Boy, I swear I try to stop this stuff from being long-winded. Hot gas bypass. All right, so they were saying that, hot gas bypass. Sometimes you will get a little bit of leaking. You might notice that there is a leak at the hot gas bypass. I have that with Scotsman. So they said if you can't find the leak, check here and check the high pressure cutout. That happens a lot on walk-ins and stuff. The high pressure cutout, sometimes they'll leak. Sometimes a low pressure cutout will have a leak. Because anytime you're hooking up these external pieces to the system, you have a leak. So you guys have seen these. I had that. Gotta go. Hey, thanks for stopping by. I try to keep this stuff short, but I'm covering so many subjects, so I try to break this stuff up. Always keep like they say, always keep the time current on the machines. This is the soft serve machine, the custard machine. You want to keep the time set because that's when you know when the errors occur. So you want to know if the errors are occurring at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 o'clock in the day, 4 p.m. in the day. And what that's telling you is that, yeah, during high usage times that they're having problems. Um, and if they're having it at other times, then you got to make adjustments to the sleep mode and things like that. If they're having a problem at like 11 o'clock or they're having problems at 12 and they normally don't see a lot of business until 3 o'clock, when schools start to let out, then it's a problem there. Day two. Here we go. And this is actually the logo I'm going to put down, the thumbnail I'm going to put down for this.
So like I get it to a place that I can hold it on my left side, and on the other side I stick my flathead screwdriver in and I peel that out of there.
That's me looking
And
at the
very end of
belts.
that, it's got like a weird cut in it. Yeah. And you gotta get, yep.
So we get to look at the machines, we get to touch what we want
You
to.
gotta get underneath
And
it.
like I tell all you guys, we actually ended the class at a time that gave us more than enough time to tear these machines down and put them back without annoying the instructor. All right, more than enough time. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. That fan is very, very popular in the commercial realm. Now, it is not American fan. It is like a Chinese fan. Contactors like what you see in air conditioning. That is the same contactor that you get at Johnstone, Baker Supply, URI, Johnson. Oh, good. Hey, Frank. Yeah, I know you guys. You guys have been on here since the beginning. These cap styles. So this is what I was dealing with. This is the units that will draw. They will draw from these drawers the different mixes, and then it will inject that into the top, inside the cylinders. All right, and so he just went over like ghost operation about the wires. So if the employees are walking by and the machine is just doing some weird stuff or the display is going off, and then it might come back on or going off. Um, that what that's saying is that these low voltage wires, the wires that are for the display, they are touching the high voltage wire, and pros in that close proximity, it is having some really weird things going on. So he just said to wrap those wires up, take out all the slack in them, bundle them up, and then put them to the side so they're not touching. If you want to, you can wrap them up with electrical tape or whatever, and keep them off to the side just so they're not next to a magnetic field that's caused by high voltage wires, and that's what's causing that. All the probes, all the sensors, all the testing is done at the computer board. So at the display, you can actually turn everything on and off right there. So like we were talking about the liquid level probes, you can't see anything. So we just did a breakdown of the board and what everything is, how you can test it right from the board. And this is right behind the spigots. So when you take this off here, it's got the controls, and it's got the emblem right there, the logo. It's just 3 screws. This whole front slides down, comes towards you, and off. And then once you do that, you have access to the control board. And then from here, you can go ahead and test. Uh, Check for 12 volts DC, blah, blah, blah. We were just talking about how the mixed pump pressure sensor inputs, where you plug that in, just something as simple as this is right and this is left. Not left is left and right is right, but it's actually swapped. Um, So it's just something to be mindful of if you're taking these things out and you put them back together, or you're putting in a brand new board altogether, and the customer calls you and said it's acting funny, or the mix is still running, the hopper is still running and it's supposed to be off, and the other one won't respond when you pull down the lever. That's because you got things swapped up. All right, so I am going to try to make this quicker. Anybody else have any interest in this? I'm gonna try to give you guys a short version. Um, so we went over. This is the sensor. This white block. The white block here is actually the sensor for. There it is. This is the sensor for the mix. And so what happens is the mix is drawn through, and as it touches the metal, okay, good. As it touches the metal, it gives it continuity, and it completes the circuit. So it lets the display, like you see back here where it says Stoelting soft serve, that will actually flash blue on and off, on and off, on and off, and nobody pays attention to it because they think it's supposed to flash. It's not supposed to flash. Only reason why it's flashing is because this is not hooked up to the hose that is connected to the liquid, the mix. And so we were told to, hey, install a clamp to hold this tension, to hold it on there, and that will stop the display from flashing. I guarantee you go to a location that has a soft serve machine with this branding on it, it is going to flash. And that is because this is not hooked up. This is not hooked up. The hoses come off and it causes the blue lights to flash off and on. That is the liquid sensor. You're going to use the hand clamp. Oh yeah, when the display is blank. I had this on my machine that I have 3 soft serve machines, not this brand, a different brand. And when I put the display back, when I put the whole front cabinet back together, the display won't work. And I'm like, what the hell? And it's because I have it grounded. I like one of the wires to be grounded because I crushed it putting it back together. So that is something that you will do. I guarantee you will do that. I've done that with my own machine that I own that I use. And yeah, it is a thing that you do. Don't panic, don't freak out. Take it back apart and then put it back together. Check how everything is situated, put it back together. That is the number one tip. So just showing the check valve and its orientation for these hoses. And I'm going to show you what it looks like. There it is. That's the actual arrow that's on the diagram right there. I forgot what he was saying. Like most times, people don't even have that hose on there. This is how it all goes together. And the reason why they're going over this thing is because people are not using it out in the field. Where's the train? This training? This training is only available to certain technicians. I will have to. I will put out a certain email address, and I will have people contact me, um, and then I will have to organize something for you to see what's going on in your area because you're going to call the manufacturer and call the manufacturer, and they're just going to ignore you. Um, they did that to me for years. They get thousands of people that call them every day that want this kind of stuff, that want to be trained, and they will ignore you. I got a Patreon that I need to start giving out. I did go on there. I did get it all straightened out. I got the name and all that stuff done, and I can tell you more stuff on the Patreon. But I really want to get an email list going so I can get you guys situated with this kind of stuff. And because if anything, they will get together and just do one, particular. Where I went, they didn't even need to ship anything. So, like I said, tomorrow's the last day here. It was a full class. It's always a full class because like here in Houston, Houston, here in Texas, there's 700. I can't believe this number. Every time I hear it, it's just so weird. 700 Dairy Queens. 700 Dairy Queens in Texas. 700, right? And so there are quite a few factions that are taking care of these Dairy Queens. Um, right? So all those guys that are pretty much dedicated to taking care of these Dairy Queens and the Golden Corral and all that kind of stuff. They actually have these contracts, these $1 million contracts. Those guys have to be trained, and they have to make sure that those guys are trained. So they they do these training classes, and it's not like they do one a month with these brands. They're doing like one a year, and so they're doing this like 3 days once a year. And so where I come into play is I do have to take care of some of the people that are the smaller fish, right? They're taking care of these large chains, these $1 million contracts, but I'm taking care of, maybe they have like 3 restaurants or 4 restaurants. That's small for them. That's small. You're not going to get $1 million out of just taking care of 4 restaurants. But for a small guy, that's a nice little piece of change. Okay, so I had previous questions about health codes and how often are you supposed to do this kind of stuff. This is what they say that this is what the factory recommends, and so they're really touchy about this. Like they can't tell the customer what to do with the equipment because technically once you buy something, it's your equipment and you do whatever the hell you want to with it. And so they try not to cross that line. So these are recommendations. These aren't mandatory requirement things. These are just suggestions. Um, so you got to lubricate these O-rings and all that other kind of stuff. You do not let that mix sit in that machine longer than 2 days because then you start to get bacteria that starts to grow and you can get people sick. And then people want to sue. And then they're going to want to sue the factory that made the machine. They're going to want to sue the restaurant that served. And they're going to want to sue whatever service company is quote unquote taking care of that machine. So they say, hey, just throw that stuff out. After 2 days, throw it out. Don't get anybody sick. Just throw it out. Um, so the preventative maintenance schedule, change those O-rings. If it's air cooled, which means this has a condenser and a condenser fan motor, you got to clean it, and then you got to inspect the flights, which are those paddles that are inside the barrel that are churning that product. And then you have that wear line. Should the manufacturers be the target to get training? Yeah, the manufacturer has to give the training. That's who I am harassing to get you guys in the door. That's who I'm harassing to get you guys this information. The training departments are very, very small parts of these companies. I mean, the training department, you're talking about like anywhere between 1 and 3 people, 1 and 5 people. That's the entire training department for the entirety of the United States of America. Like 3 people. So you're not talking about some department of 20, 30 people. You're talking about 5 people, 3 people. Okay, so replacing the rear seal, and these things that you're looking at on this sheet, these things are stuff that they're taking and pulling apart every 2 days anyway. To clean it, you gotta take off the rear seal and you gotta wash it. The flights, you have to take off the flights. The O-rings, you have to take off the O-rings when you're cleaning all the unit. All right, see, every 800 gallons or every 2 weeks. So they're saying that the customer is going through 800 gallons of product in less than a month. 800 gallons. So this is a lot of stuff. They're going through a lot of equipment. All right. So what you saw in some of those videos, this was the pump that's in those pump assisted um, equipment, and this bearing right here is bearing wears out. All right. So all these things wear out. So they have kits that you could buy. This is the actual overrun setting. It's not digital like it is on the other machines. Everything is done on the pump. So, for each type of customer, they have a setting, and you can't see it, but the indicator is on the other side, and you just line that indicator up, that marker with the numbers on this dial here, and then there's just a little Allen wrench that you stick through. The Allen wrench you don't need to find because it is actually attached to this pump at all times. It is part of the machine. You just take it off, and you can go ahead and take apart 95% of this with that tool that the factory supplies. All right. So it's the pump. There's more of the O-ring. That's how that looks when it's all messed up. Let's see here.
Down what might be a symptom that you would know that something could be wrong with the pump.
Product's too heavy, not enough air in it.
That's right. It's too heavy. And the reason being, this little,
You're losing stroke.
No problem.
That's
Plumber,
exactly right.
plumber payday. No problem.
that's overlooked
Happy to
a
do it.
lot. And see, it's got that little insert inside of it. That's what wears out. And I've seen them so worn out that you could take it completely off of this nut without taking the nut out.
They say that pump is $4,000. So that's why they went over this class to give a class on rebuilding that pump instead of replacing the $4,000 pump. So this piece up at the top, God, my mind is mush. I can't go over it right now. But this all comes apart, and we went over that. If the T leaks, and actually, they're telling me that you cannot get this brass T at Home Depot, Lowe's, or Ace Hardware. We have Ferguson. You should have Ferguson too. Ferguson is a nationwide plumbing supply house. And there are some others too. Okay, let me get up out of that. So there are quite a few people that are plumbers that follow me. Interesting enough. So they're showing us what the tolerance on the different bearings that are in there. All right, so we got check it out, and they passed around the other screws that go through here, and so you can see what happens when they, if they're able to wiggle or shimmy, they're out of they're out of tolerance. There's just too much of a gap, and so we got to feel how the fit is supposed to be. All right, it's not supposed to be any wiggle whatsoever. You're gonna hear noise and chattering sounds. So here's the air compressor kit. There's part number, so they gave us everything. And check that out. And so everything is in there, and so we actually went through and put that kit on a unit. This is just I just took a second picture of that screen. So yeah, so that's the mix pump rebuild. So yeah, the carburetor of the pump. This is actually just like the pump itself is up here. And so what they had us do is once we took it all apart, stripped it down, checked the read, made sure we can identify if it is in correctly or if it's in upside down, and then check it by hand. Operate the pump by hand to see if you have pressure, suction, pressure that was coming through there, and so you can check it, make sure you have it all put together right. And in this section over here on the right, so we had a bearing pressing class. So the owner of the facility actually took this whole thing apart using a bearing press, using a press, and he took it all apart, and then he put it all together right in front of us and let us know how to do it. And he said, do not even attempt to do it if you don't have a press. All right, here's another little quick video.
Multi-direction. You don't really need to worry about unplugging anything else.
You guys might have seen this earlier.
So
I played the same video earlier.
How to rewire the thing just when you order
over
it,
an hour ago.
Order the wrong one. So if you order one for like a remote pump, they're 110. Same damn motor, they're just wired differently. So now you're going to have 3 7/16 nuts holding that thing.
So we have
to the
3
wall.
whole days of the most common.
Please do not use
the most
freaking
common
impact
errors, the
dummies.
most common
They
occurrences.
are tacked on to the back wall. You
Yeah.
break them off,
You're screwed.
you're screwed. There's no putting them back.
So just things you learn. Just things you learn, in the class. So yeah, basically what he's saying, if you use your impact, use it on the very, very lightest setting. Use it on 1.
Because obviously
All right,
you're doing
because
this
if
behind
you
a
break
U431, you got 2 compressors in.
the holder, if
Notice
you
how we
break
just dropped the nut down
the
there.
bolt holder, if you break it, from
I
its
always
position,
shove a rag behind the compressor.
it won't go back
before I
in
do
properly.
this, because I drop
So,
at least one of those nuts every freaking time I do
He
this.
said, please be
Guess
gentle
where it
with
goes?
because it's tack welded.
Right underneath the compressor. And the bottom of that compressor's got a lip that curls under. You can't just pick the machine up and go like this with it. So you gotta sit there and try to shove something underneath there, try to catch it.
Yeah, he
try
was
to get
talking
it
about
out
how
of
the
there.
screws are drop and roll. I actually
See,
dropped the
when I
spring
fly, I
today.
don't have to chew it.
I dropped the damn spring when I took apart that pump.
So
They were
basically,
just mentioning about how to
be
take care
on
of
the
one of
safe
the
side.
O-rings inside the
Throw a
pump.
rag in there.
And they
put
said,
towels
yeah,
in there,
if
something
you
between
move
the
this
wall
one
and the
piece, the
compressor.
spring will fly out. And I moved the one piece, and it didn't move. And I let go of something, and the spring went flying. We finally found it. It took damn near 15 minutes, but we found the spring.
Here is
And the spring is about the size of your pinky. The spring is about the size of your damn pinky. But without that one little spring, the damn machine won't work over a freaking 5-cent or 10-cent spring. I even doubt it's that much. It's smaller than the spring that's inside a pin. So he was just showing how to cut that sucker loose. That wasn't him. That was
And
actually
you're gonna go
that
ahead
was a
and
student
unplug.
doing some hands-on. So this
The
is.
white in your
I'm
blue,
looking. We're almost at the end.
which on this one looks like
You guys are with me so far? Let me see who's still with me. Let me see if I got like 5 people left here watching.
That pump motor.
9. I got like 9 people still watching. So, but for the 9 diehard people, what other questions do you have? So you're getting a bird's eye view. You're getting
cutout.
this is what my
Wires look
eyes see.
very freaking similar,
So I'm trying not to get anybody.
and they're real close to each other. Pay attention to which ones are which. Same gauge, same lot of everything. So different colors, but people will go through and plug them into the wrong thing.
Would you tape them together?
You could tape them together. Whatever's going to take to keep them in the direction of where they need to be plugged in. You'll find out real quick when all of a sudden it keeps on saying it has a high pressure cutout on it, and you're like, oh, this thing isn't even running. You'll know that you have these things on backwards. It will not blow anything up. All right. Next thing you're going to do is
I need to go through and tell you guys
Well,
what the
it
most
doesn't
common
matter.
problems are.
It's just focus.
That's, the whole class is talking about the most common problems. All right. So yeah, this whole the pump assembly that you see, all of this, you could clean this in water. They were talking about get rid of the mix first before you try to clean that. Blah 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 blah. Let's see here. Just more about the pressure. Yeah, and they said if you can't find a crack anywhere, it's more likely going to be in the T that I mentioned earlier. And they said you can't. The only reason why the brass tees at Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards, Ace Hardware, they said the only reason why those won't work is because they're not completely flat, and so it doesn't lay in the right position. So yeah, there's my dirty fingernails, and then there is your reference point so that you can set the overrun. And so the Allen wrench goes in that hole, and then you can tighten it up once you have it set to whatever the overrun is for that designated customer. And each customer is going to have a setting. So this is the lubricating spray for the O-rings in there, and he shows what to spray, what not to spray, what not to get in where, all that good stuff, and all that's done in the class basically. Would you start with knowing what you know now? What type of equipment? I would still start with the same thing, which is what I tell you guys: ice machines. You can actually do your whole career just doing ice machines and nothing else. Everything else is a little more involved to get started with, but I'm in a hotel right now. If I were to turn on this camera and walk through this hotel, there's Dexter Laundry in here, right? But there's Hoshizaki ice machines. We have Hoshizaki ice machines on each floor. So there's Hoshizaki ice machines on each floor, just in this hotel. There's like 12 different hotels within a 15-minute walk of where the hotel I'm at right now, and they all have ice machines in them. Not to mention the gas stations have all ice machines in them. Everywhere you go, they have ice machines. So just simply by playing the numbers, there is not enough service providers for all the ice machines everywhere you go. There's not enough. There's not enough. You do not have to have the health department come down and say your ice machine is dirty for somebody to clean the ice machine. That is merely just saying, hey, you have this extra helping indicator that they need something done and they need it done by X amount of time. It's going to be in there. You just have to keep looking. It's going to be there. It's always there. There's always those owners that don't believe in doing it. All right. So his press was on the side of his truck, and that is the plate that went inside his press, so you can press stuff through. He was just saying how to clamp onto this pump housing so that the bearing and the sprocket the piece doesn't move. Gonna have to excuse my choice of wording. I am just trying to finish this up. All right. So he was just explaining that this is a left hand thread to remove this shaft that goes through here. It's already off on this picture. The the bearing housing, it's already off. But it is yeah, man, it's in a number of pictures. This was the damn ring. This freaking ring right here gave me the blues today. This ring, see how it's like a Z on here? That's this ring stretched out into a slinky. This ring stretches out into a slinky. And so there's nothing there for it to get, it's just tension that holds that up and prevents these damn uh handles from falling out. All right, so there's a round disc, and then these compress and then hold that in there. It holds everything together. Once this slinky, this ring comes down, the whole thing freaking falls apart. The whole thing falls apart. Brass, yeah, if it don't line up, right, it'll cross thread. Yeah, that is so true. But it was that, and they wanted this whole T to lay completely flat because it's has to form a seal because it's a pump, and it was some kind of big deal about it. But yeah, I'm fairly certain I've seen some flat T's, but they swear up and down that they are not completely flat. I'll take their word for it. I mean, I guess I'll pay $10 for the tea, whatever it may be. That's if it's cracked. So if that tea is cracked, it's going to leak syrup everywhere. You're not going to know where it's coming from. You're going to test everything. They said that brass tea is cracked. All right. So enough of that. Enough of reliving my trauma from today. Um, this is the Dairy Queen units. So this is what that front control panel looks like. The one that burns up if your voltage is if your outlets are out of phase. Um, that's something to check out. Check the electricity. Make sure everything's lined up. Make sure those contactors aren't you can't see them, but on the other side, see there's a lot of room between the end of the board and where this housing ends. And so there's a contactor here, contactor there. I think top is left contactor and the bottom is the right. Um, let's see here. And then that damn spring was up in there. These are the switches, the micro switches, which are all replaceable. You can get these damn switches anywhere. I carry these switches. These switches are on Hoshizaki. They're on so many different commercial appliances. More of your universal. So you just match them up. All right. More about that Dairy Queen handle that I'm gonna have nightmares about. Oh, so I don't know if anybody is still here, but earlier I had questions about daiquiri machines, and here you go. So a daiquiri is just a slushy machine. So a daiquiri is a slushy with alcohol in it. So here it is. Here's the machine. Here's all the different flavors, right? The half and then the full unit. There we go. Talking about the bricks. So bricks is the sugar content in whatever it is you're looking for, whatever it is you're trying to analyze. So they give you the bricks number that you're going to look for, and it just reiterated again today. Hey, look, there's different bricks items. So you have a different bricks tool for checking glycol levels. Uh, and you definitely have a different bricks tool for checking the sugar level in drinks and things of that nature. All right. Here's another one, that Arctic Rush. They were talking about which ones are still available, which ones they're phasing out, all that good stuff. Wire diagrams. Mike, do they provide wire diagrams? Yes. 99.999% of the manufacturers out there will give you a wiring diagram. 99.999% of the manufacturers out there will give you a wiring diagram. They don't have a problem giving you a manual. They don't have a problem giving you a wire diagram. They don't have a problem giving you a list of common things to check or PM or all that other stuff. They just won't give you any tech support. They just aren't going to say, okay, take your meter and put it here. What's this say? What's this? What's that? They're not going to do any of that. Vast majority of these places. All right. You're talking about the time clock. Hopefully these have gone away. I myself despise these time clocks. And they were talking about what happens if the time clock is bad or shorted out. The product will freeze. So this is a defrost time clock. And it's the same thing that's on walk-ins. This time clock that I hate. These little notches come out. Each notch represents 15 minutes of defrost. So 2 notches down is 30 minutes, and so on and so forth. So if you want a longer defrost, just keep knocking notches down, and it will stay at defrost for 15 minutes at a time. I hate those. I am so glad about the digital clocks. So let's see here. More of pumps and things like that. This is the end of the class, so they were kind of like jamming and stuff. So are there any questions? And that's it. That was it. That was it today. Are there any other questions for the 3 people that are left after I overstayed this freaking long? Any questions? I appreciate you guys being on here, but seriously, any questions? I'll address them real quick. So tomorrow, I got one more class, but I'll be driving back home tomorrow. I don't think I'll be on tomorrow. I doubt it, because that ride is gonna take me a while to get back home. It took me a while to get here today. So let's see here. Oh, I'll give you guys something real quick. All right. What causes it? Well, it's pressure. It's pressurized. That brass T it's a T, so it has every threaded section is screwed tight to something, and it's constantly getting all this vibration. It is on a compressor, right? So that T is mounted on top of a pump with a rotary. It's like it's a rotating. Oh man, my brain is fried. That sucker is on top of so much movement. I mean, the compressor is there. The scroll compressor is running. Below it, you got the if it's air cooled, then you got the fan running. Then you had that motor running. Oh, excuse me. Then you had the other pump running. And oh man, they gave me the name of the cylindrical whatever that was that rotates right underneath it. So you got a lot of vibration going on. So you got a lot of vibration. You got a freezing cold liquid going through that brass, and then you putting it under pressure. So yeah, that part. So pressure, expansion and contraction. So you got that cold liquid because the bottom is refrigerated, where the liquids are. That's refrigerated. So anyway, I want to give you guys this. Is there any other? Yeah, there's training upcoming. I got to give you guys the information for March. Every month there is training because the training rotates around the country, and for California, Houston, Ontario, Canada, Ontario, California, Toronto, Canada. Maine, everywhere. There's training every month for different parts of the country. So I want to give you guys this information for JMC, which is an appliance company, it's appliance brand. You can look them up. It is well, let me do it. This woman's name is Alicia Vega. All right, Alicia Vega. She is the assistant service manager. All right, you can call her. Her number is 855-525-5505, extension 414. All right, she's with JMC Food Equipment. Let me go over to the website. She's extension 414 at 855-525-5505, extension 414. By the way, I know Greg B. Greg is in Dallas. Is anybody else in Dallas? And if Greg B. Greg is around, please let him know to send me a message. I want to see if he's available for this business opportunity that's up here. What the hell is this showing? All right, well, fair use. Fair use. This is JMC Food Equipment. These are different brands for JMC Food Equipment. So they're not they're a brand. Yeah, they're not like an air conditioner. They're a company that sells like 5 different brands. So you can call them nationwide. She'll sign you up. You can discuss rates with her. Why are they not showing the product? That's bizarre. All right, let me go into JMC. All right, JMC Food Equipment. This is what I want to show you from the jump. All right, this is JMC. Let's go into. No, I don't want to join your list any more than I already am. Ooh, what the hell is Akita Refrigeration? They always have different names. They got Bison and everything else. All right, so let's go into bottle coolers. So these new niche brand companies, they don't make this stuff. Another company makes it and then they'll slap their name on it. So what they do is these are essentially marketing companies. So they take it and then they'll like sell these to their companies that they're, different clients that they already have. Man, this internet is slow. So these are bottle coolers. This looks exactly like a Perlick bar back. Is what they would call these bottle coolers. So they put the beer in here, basically pile them up. So these are big in nightclubs and bars. Yeah, so they're part of the marketing with that auto quotes. So, did everybody get the information to call this young lady? Oh, sure, no problem. So, I want to give you guys something for being here so long, right? So, for people, I'll throw you guys something for hanging out and putting up with me for freaking 40 hours. Call these people. It's a lot of refrigeration. Um, so these are the prep tables and stuff like that. They're making a big production about this. It's just freaking single, double, and three door. They're using various different manufacturers to give them product, and what they do is they slap their name on it. Just imagine Kenmore. So they're doing the whole Kenmore thing, right? This is made by LG. This is made by Whirlpool. This is made by Samsung, but it all says Kenmore on it. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. And then they have Hot Side. So that's their Cooper Beach. But is anybody here from Dallas? Anybody, the 5 people that are still here? Anybody here from Dallas? No? Okay. Because I got some manufacturers that fabricated some stuff, and the hot side equipment that goes on it is too small, and so they're swapping it out. Oh, good. All right, so they're swapping it out, and so they want a technician to unmount this stuff and then remount it. So this is just a good idea what is over there with this company. Oh, see, look at that. 1 year, 1 year parts and labor warranty. 1 year. All right. So you guys be, oh man, the warranty, the warranty. That's only on a few items. And those are like really premium items. So what they're doing is they can't compete on anything else. So what they try to compete on is things like they're trying to buy customers by saying, oh, we have a 5 year warranty. So this 5 year is only on the compressor. That's not on the labor. So, and that's what everybody, because it's like federally mandated. Um, it was an act of Congress. So that's why you see that they have a 5 year compressor warranty. They don't want to do it. It's just that it's a federally mandated thing. I could pull it up for you guys, but it is, that's just it. That's why you could have a 1 year warranty, but a 5 year on the compressor. Only because the GE had that problem back in the '90s, and everybody was traumatized about it. That's a certain age, and so they make them do this 5 year. So this is a little drink cooler. Let me see what else they got with the fall. Yeah, there we go. So this goes in your bars. This is try to compete with Perlick and Glass Tender and stuff like that. All right, so this is their Vault brand. Okay, and that's about it. So this will get you into some customers. It's gonna be the nightclub crowd. It's gonna be, mom and pops, because these aren't too expensive. These are very budget friendly, price conscious products. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, what I just said. That's what they are. That's what they are. So you got that. Give her a call. She'll get you signed up. Oh, Spartan. I'll do Spartan real quick. So she'll get you signed up. She'll put you on the list for your area. There we go. Here we go. All right. So they have ice machines. I want to say this is a knockoff of Manitowoc. Let's see. I think these are knockoffs of Manitowoc. Yes, I am fairly certain that these are Manitowoc copies. So Manitowoc and Hoshizaki and Isomatic and Scotsman, their intellectual property, their copyright on the way they had made their equipment, the ability to sue people over their design had expired, and so now you have all these knockoffs. So they have ice machines, they have ranges, they have everything except for dishwashers. They have everything except for dishwasher, and then they have parts. So if you're looking for parts, right? If you're looking for parts, they have them. She has them. So they got compressors. Look at that, decent price, 350, all that stuff. So you can get it elsewhere, and they're not knockoff, they're not junk. This is a Dan Foss. Is that Dan? Yeah, this is a Dan Foss compressor. This is the same compressor that's in Hoshizaki refrigerators. Tecumseh. No. Oh, it's in Braco. It's in Braco. Oh, that's what's in your Whirlpool. Um, you know, in Braco. Braco is top name. More in Braco. So they're not putting garbage in there. Now this is Korean. I'm not a big fan of that compressor. Chinese. Hai Hui or whatever. I'm making fun, but it's not Hai Hui, it's Hawaii or whatever. I'm not a fan of this one either. Um, oh my god, I had one of these. You gotta check. Ugh. One word to the wise on these little guys, and they're not little, they're pretty big. You gotta check where your suction line is. A lot of times it is not an exact swap out. All right. You see this? it's not always plug and play. You got to check that and make sure which is actually the suction line. Because see, they're not like this. You see this craziness? They're not like this. Oh, get out of here. So yeah, patent. Thank you. The patent ran out. Patent ran out. So now you can have all these little copycat uh, appliances out there. So they had to change it. They spent hundreds of millions of dollars to change their designs so that they would have protection and that they would be able to charge a premium. So you have knockoffs of Hoshizaki, you have knockoffs of Manitowoc, and you have knockoffs of Scotsman out there. So here's controllers, and then these people send out the parts. These people send out the parts. So these are good parts. These are Dixel. This is a European what's a. You know, you're not gonna find that anywhere else. Um, like I said, Dixels. It might even be some Corels. What is this? Speaking of devil, it still might be Dixel. Emerson knockoff. That's not even really an Emerson. But anyway, they have the parts. They have the parts. They have the parts. So you can get the parts right. So I don't know if you guys know this, but these are this, and this. Atosa. These are Atosa boards. So Atosa has one board for refrigeration and one board for freezers. They are not interchangeable. You can see it in here, even though they're one number off. That's because one is refrigeration, one is freezer. That's why one is 146 and one is 163. You can find that at the hardware. Hardware you can put one in because I did a Toza for years, and I had like all kind of boards, and I put the board in, and that damn board didn't work. I was like, "What the hell's going on?" Called the factory, and I had put a refrigeration board in a freezer, and they were like, "Nope, we don't just have one board; we have two boards. They look identical, but we have two boards: one for fridge, one for freezer." But anyway, you have the digital controllers, and you can put in a universal. I can show you guys a video on that. You can actually put a universal to replace all of these. So with that, did anybody get her information? Did you want me to put it back up on the screen to contact her? Anybody want her email address? But you can call her. You can email her. It would be service@jmcfoodequipment.com. You can email her. That's going to go right to Alicia Vega at 1-855-525-5505, extension 414 for the 3 people that are still left watching me. So, give her a call. There's another manufacturer. There's another brand out there that you could. Excuse me. There's another brand that you can sign up with, and hopefully you can make some money with them. All right. I wanted to talk about those other companies that were that focus on what is it? That focus on those what you guys call third party warranty, which are really just facility management companies because they don't provide any warranty services. What they do is they don't provide any warranty services. What they do is they just find people to do the electrical. They find people to do plumbing and that type of thing, and then appliances just so happen to be part of it. So we'll talk about that later because I've already been on for like 2 hours and 35 minutes. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. I hope this information helps, especially like Vault and some of the other ones. And don't be afraid to send me a message in the comment section if you are in the Dallas area or in the Fort Worth area. I might have a job for you and 2 different manufacturers that might want to sign you up. All right, you guys have a good day. Thank you.